Let's talk about tokenomics. When it comes to tokenomics and the Rare Sats ecosystem, it's very much cutting like a double-edged sword right now. Let me explain. The glass half empty view is that you've learned about Rare Sats so damn early that you're actually in the pre-chart era here with the rest of us. That's right, just like how Bitcoin started out without any price charts, so too has its smallest unit of account, Rare Sats. The glass half full view is that if you're this early to Rare Sats, you're probably a pretty big lover of Bitcoin, and that means you likely possess a certain level of technical savvy. This is great news for you then, because it means you're not intimidated by the fact that there are no charts. You're able to go ahead and do your own research and find out those answers for yourself. In turn, this allows you to acquire absolute grail rare Satoshis at incredibly discounted prices. Look, you can't have it both ways. There are either tools readily available for everyone to develop their own rare set strategy, or there's not. In which case, only the most bold and intrepid will enjoy success early on. While there is no official Rare Sats resource that tracks all information across the board just yet, I got some good news for you. There are some people out there that have put together some of the very best data possible on the Rare Sats industry. This is grade alpha, so I advise you, if you know where to look, to make use of it. So now that we understand the current environment, here's the data you need to know when it comes to Rare Sats tokenomics. Dates. Usually the older the Satoshi, the more valuable it is because it's got more history accrued working in its favor. A good example of this are uncommon sats, black uncommon sats, and alpha and omegas. However, in the case of palindromes, they're actually becoming increasingly more rare over time, so this script may get flipped before it's all over. The point here is that if you can, you should always look up the Rare Satoshi's number using a resource like OrdiScan. This will empower you to understand all the properties that give that rare sat the value that it commands. Total supply is also very important to know. How many of each rare sat exist? Is the total supply already fully admitted, such as historical sats like Block 9 and Pizza? Or is there more coming to market, such as protocol level sats, which are destined to grow in supply over time? Circulating supply comes next. How many of those rare sats have been moving around lately? This can be tracked by wallet activity over a certain number of days, and it helps the market understand the likelihood of certain rare sats being in a wallet that the owner controls the private key to, and how many have been sequestered. This means that a sat hunter has discovered a rare sat and extracted it out of a UTXO that was comprised mostly of common sats. Sat hunters often set these aside into vaults, and most of the rare sats that you purchase will often come from the result of a sat hunter finding a chunk of gold. Sat hunters will often go ahead and separate those rare sats, putting them into a special vault. And there's a good chance that the first rare sat that you purchased was the result of a sat hunter panning for digital gold in a river. Now we have to ask ourselves, how many of those rare sats are inscribed? Rare Sats are the world's premier foundation for creators to build their masterpieces upon in the form of NFTs. When it comes to creating NFTs with ordinals, common sats are used the most, and that makes sense because there's way more of them than rare sats. However, some collections demand only the very best, and each time a rare sat's inscribed, it's basically removed from the circulating supply. The inscription process has a deflationary effect on rare sats, and you feel this effect most profoundly when it comes to historical sats that already have their full supply emitted into the ecosystem. And this can mean only one thing: they can only ever get rarer with each passing day. But protocol level sats have their place here too, with uncommon and black uncommons being some of the most favorite to inscribe upon. I want you to ensure you've taken in all the above information before you make your first big rare sat purchase. So, as we are literally transitioning out of the pre-chart era as we speak, as you've just learned, if you're willing to get your hands dirty, you can go ahead and do some research and find some true gems.